and welcome into Sports 5215, Episode 3. I'm Connor Okuda. This is my big brother Tommy Okuda.
How everyone doing? We're here live in Kansas City. We're fortunate enough to be able to go to the Eagles Chiefs Monday Night Football game, possibly the biggest game of the regular season so far to this point, right?
Yep.
Um, yeah, so we're representing in Kansas City, representing for Philly and the Birds, and it's going to be super exciting. I'm super excited. So far, it's been really cool. Um, what's been the coolest thing to you so far since you've been out here, Con?
Um, I, I think just how
Besides the Kansas City barbecue.
Yeah, of course. I would think how hospitable everybody in KC has been towards Eagles fans.
Yeah, people are nice. You get the little jokes, like, but everyone's been cool. Even in our lobby and everything, you got everyone. People making bets with you about,
Yeah.
So it's been really cool. And I don't know about you, I'm super excited to go to Arrowhead.
Me too, and I can't wait. I've heard and seen terrific things, obviously on the TV.
Yeah.
About it though, but
Yeah,
I'm excited.
At some point, we talked about some of the favorite NFL jerseys. We'll have to talk about some of the favorite stadiums as well. A lot of people talk about Lambeau and everything. I've wanted to go to Arrowhead forever. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome. We've been out here for a few days and went to Chickies and Pete's today.
Yep.
As you may not know, Chickies and Pete's obviously is a Philly, or I guess is it Philly or Maryland?
Does
it originate?
I think it originated in Philly.
Okay.
But it has Maryland ties.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So they're famous for their crab fries, and people in Philly, we love them. Every time I go to a Eagles or Phillies or Sixers or Flyers game, I'm always getting some crab fries. So they opened up a new location out here, and we're like, oh, dude, we gotta go. And there was a lot of Eagles fans. I wasn't expecting there to be so many Eagles fans, actually.
Yeah, me neither. But that'll probably be our only home field advantage this entire weekend. So let's soak that in and enjoy it.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of Eagles fans, so much that I don't think they really knew how to handle everybody. You know, our waitress seemed a little flustered. Nia, she was very helpful. But she even said, she's like, we haven't had this many people in here before. And I think people in KC don't really know of Chickies and Pete's like that and everything.
Yeah.
But it was crazy to see how many people were actually there. Right when we walk in, we see you Douglas, the big fella. That was pretty cool too to talk to him for a minute. And then we sit down. We get some crab fries and some wings, of course, and look over and we see Con.
Dumpy. The Pulp Fiction pod.
Yeah, I don't know if many people are familiar with Dumpy. He became popular for a huge tattoo on his chest, basically like a Philly sports tribute, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. They actually make T-shirts out of it now with Bryson Stott wearing pregame. And Joe has he's hilarious personality too.
Yeah.
So they have the podcast together, and they were sitting there. I think they represent fans of Philly as well too, right?
Yep.
So we sit down and they're sitting right across from us. Like, oh, that's so cool. Eventually able to go over get a picture with both of them. And he took his shirt off right away. Took a picture of Connor, which is awesome. Pictures on our Twitter, which is really cool. It's an awesome guy. Two great guys and super interesting, funny ass pod.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was cool for us to meet them, and then we're walking out and we see somebody who's probably one of the more controversial figures in Philly media, right? Would you say that?
Elliot Shore Parks is he's famous for being infamous, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Like he has very controversial takes, but hey, it gets interaction, it gets people talking. So
yeah, and that's something he mentioned to us, which is really cool. obviously with that he gets kind of a bad rep. People don't really, I mean, people don't love him, right?
Yeah.
But he actually sat and talked with us for a few minutes, which was really cool, really insightful and helpful. And he mentioned, that's part of it. You can't just say what everybody else says. You know, you have no originality. You just be like everybody else, right? So it's super important to kind of branch off from those thoughts and try to think outside of the box. Like what if this scenario? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and he's one of the best at that. And it's controversial at times. He's got Deshaun Watson call him out on Twitter and stuff. But as a journalist, that's what you have to do. And he asks enticing questions. So he has my respect. And before I met him, I did actually respect, maybe not love, but I like him as a reporter definitely. And now I definitely like him as a person as well.
Yeah.
I think
He's one of the best dudes I think I've ever had maybe the pleasure of meeting.
He's nice. He's very nice.
And unfortunately, with those 140 characters, it doesn't always come across.
Well, he has to be a little controversial as well.
I mean, of course.
But it was awesome meeting all of them, seeing all the Eagles, Philly fans, a lot of green and chickens. He made it so that we were in Philly, out in Kansas City. So that was awesome. But moving forward to the actual game, I know you had a quick hits. I know you have a few takeaways for the game. Just like a quick dive into them. What do you think the Eagles have to do to possibly beat, sadly to say, the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs?
I said we gotta limit the turnover differential, or limit the turnovers. Excuse me. The Eagles have a -2 turnover differential, and we all saw how one turnover can impact a game in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs offense. So we've got to limit that, and we really have to be efficient in the red zone. I mentioned in the quick hits, their red zone percentage is down from 68 to 55. So that's vitally important to score touchdowns. And finally, it's just to have long drives, keep Mahomes, Kelsey, and all those guys on the sideline.
Yeah, that's important. Obviously, they got some really good weapons over there, and if they're on the field for a long time, they're going to put up points. Obviously, it's hard to get them off the field. So I get that the Eagles controlling the ball, but it was interesting to me that you had no points for the defense. Is there a reason for that?
Well, I just don't foresee this game featuring many standout defensive plays. As much as we love Hassan Reddick, Josh Sweat, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and all the other guys, I just don't see there being a way you can truly shut down an offense like Kansas City.
Okay, so most of the names you mentioned were pass rushers. A big part, kind of go off top, but a big part in the Super Bowl was Eagles had 0 sacks. And when they were only behind the Bears last year, correct? Or the most sacks in the season.
Only behind the 85 Bears.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the best sacking teams ever.
Yeah.
Got 0 sacks in the Super Bowl. A lot of people blame the turf. I think that's kind of fair. I think the turf was kind of very shitty. But still, how many sacks do you think the Eagles will get? Because Mahomes is super elusive in the pocket. And I think it's really hard to bring him down.
I think
he gets rid of the ball quick.
So this might be a stretch, but I think the over/under is 2 for sacks by the Eagles defense.
Okay, I don't think that's too much of a stretch. I mean, they're a great defense, and they definitely get after the quarterback. But Kansas City has improved their offensive line a lot.
Yep.
So you remember the Super Bowl a few years ago with Mahomes running all over, but he can get all over if he needs to.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was super interesting for me that you had all offensive points for the Eagles, which I think is fair. But for me, obviously they're going to have an eye on Kelsey. The receivers haven't been great for the Chiefs. Mahomes is great, but the X factor for the Chiefs has really been Isaiah Pacheco, and in the Super Bowl, he really changed the momentum, I think, and obviously they had to try to shut down Kelsey and Mahomes, but at the end of the day, I think they're going to get theirs. If you can shut down the run game as well, and make it a second or third and 10 instead of a third and 2 or third and 3, you know what I mean? Because Pacheco runs hard. He's one of those angry runners, and as you know, I played against my team played against him in high school. Obviously, I was on offense, not defense, so I didn't have to try to tackle him. Our defense did a pretty good job against him. I don't think the Eagles. He's obviously gotten a lot better since high school.
Are the Eagles gonna? You think the Eagles will borrow like some St. Augustine tape?
They may have to, right? I think we should probably send in some tape from St. Augustine Vineland in 2018.
Yeah.
good defensive shutdown. You know, got some good backers on our team there.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Eagles have as good linebackers as us. But yeah, I mean, I was checking. It was ridiculous. It was really cool playing against him in high school. We knew he was going to be good, but I don't think most people expected him to be this good. And he's absolutely amazing now, and I think he's a big X factor in the game moving forward. So it'll be interesting if the Eagles' defense can shut him down. I think that will in turn not shut Mahomes and Kelsey down, but definitely limit them for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Next thing I wanted to ask you about, you know, we were at Chickies and Pete's today, obviously, you know, a lot of Eagles fans around everywhere. And the Philly faithful has a good reputation for showing up to places and kind of taking over some lesser fan bases, right? Some lesser fan bases stadium. I don't think it's going to happen with the Chiefs. Obviously, they're a very good fan base.
Yeah.
What percentage do you think will actually be Eagles fans at the game on Monday?
I'll say it'll be a 70-30 split Chiefs-Eagles. So 30% Eagles fans.
I think 30% Eagles fans. Wow. I don't know. See, I think a lot of games it is like that. The Eagles kind of take over the away teams, but I don't know. I think you may even be underestimating the Chiefs fans. I think we're going to be feeling a little bit more lonely out there than we think. You know.
I hear what you're saying, but I also wouldn't underestimate Eagles fans.
Yeah, we'll see. I would definitely love it if it was 70-30. I don't know though.
Especially Eagles fans that are hitting the sauce on the tailgate.
Oh yeah, get in there, get a little rowdy for sure. So yeah, that'll be interesting. You want to do a score prediction? I know you have one in your quick hits. What do you think? Score prediction and one or two big players or big plays or stats. Who's going to come up big in the game?
I forget what I said in the quick hits, but I think it was something like 31-24 Birds.
Okay.
And then I know you probably won't like to hear this, but I think AJ's going to have a big game based on your fantasy game. And I think Devontae will have a big game as well. And I think Jalen will throw maybe for 2-3 touchdowns.
Okay. So I think maybe like 35-31. Eagles are going to be a little bit more high scoring than you. I think the Eagles defense will actually come up a little bigger than you think. I think they'll end some drives early with some sacks, and at the end of the game, I think it'll come up big.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. There's something to look forward to. Both have Eagles wins. Like you said, I hope that Devontae Smith plays a little better than A.J. Brown. Playing against him in fantasy is obviously never fun. You got one of the best top 3, maybe top 2 receiver in the league, in A.J. Brown. So kind of going off topic unless there's anything else you want to say on the Eagles.
Yeah, just one more thing. I think A.J. Brown's the top 2 receiver, and he's not number 2.
You have him over Tyreek at this point?
I think so, because I think Tyreek's one trick is very good, but he's a little bit more of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
It's just his speed.
Yeah, it works, though.
Yeah, it really does.
I don't know. At the end of the day, yeah. I mean, obviously he's leading in yards and touchdowns, but AJ's pretty unstoppable. He's hard to guard always open 1K.
Yeah.
So moving forward off the Eagles, breaking news today. I wasn't really prepared for it. I thought it was a little early. Philly signed Aaron Nola, 7 years, roughly 175. I think it was 170, 175 million for Aaron Nola. What do you think? I wasn't prepared for it to come this early, and I wasn't really super confident that they were going to sign him until yesterday. You know.
Obviously, the listeners of the pod might not know this, but I'm a huge Aaron Nola guy.
Right.
Like I've been.
I know you love Nola.
I've been that way since his breakout year in 2018, and I couldn't be happier that he's staying in Philly. And I talked with you about this morning. He seems like the type of guy that once he puts roots down in a place, he's gonna want to stay there for a long time.
Yeah, and he's definitely a comfortability pitcher. I think he's always pitched better when he's felt comfortable, when he's felt good and confident.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a kind of a discount.
Yep.
I expected the market to be a little higher for him. So
for sure, and I think the message from Nola is just, hey, I just want to win.
Yeah.
Like, let's sign whoever we can. Like, don't have to pay me the most money. Similar to Bryce and Trey. I just want to win.
Get Yamamoto. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Dude. What do you think about that? Do you think there's an actual possibility that?
As much as I want to say yes, I don't know if you can outbid the Dodgers as many times as the Phillies have been able to do that.
Yeah.
So I think
the Dodgers will sign him?
Yeah, I think he might be Chavez Ravine bound.
That would that'd be a nasty rotation. Add him to Wheeler and Nola. Hopefully they extend Wheeler next offseason.
Yeah.
Nola, or maybe even this offseason. Wheeler, Nola, Ranger, and him. So they are. I think the Phillies are hopefully on the come up.
Yeah.
Obviously, they on the come up for sure. Hopefully, they finally get across the finish line.
Yeah.
It's a little heartbreaking. Our last podcast was right before Game 7, and sad to say we had high hopes.
Yeah. Pun absolutely intended.
Pun absolutely intended for sure. And it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Heartbreak for me. I told you I was out there with my work. We had training, and so we were out in Philly at a bar right near Broad Street, ready to head out. And sadly, I walked home pretty upset that night.
Was your buzz wearing off when you were walking home? You were like,
definitely, yeah. I had because I had some out of town people with work with me, and they were trying to have fun, have drinks and stuff, and I'm just watching the downfall of the Phillies, and I couldn't have fun. I just couldn't do it. But great moments overall. Great to had some great moments. Hopefully we can get that parade sometime soon, though.
Yeah, and real quick before we jump into our next segment, what's your confidence level in Rob Thompson going into the future? Because I've seen a bunch of people on Twitter, Instagram saying fire Rob Thompson. He's a terrible manager. So
I think he's fine. I think at the end of the day, he's more player coach than anything, more than a schematic guy.
Yeah.
And the players seem to love him.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of deviations you could have. Move Schwarber around. Castellanos kind of really, really slowed down at the end of the playoff run. People were talking about possibly moving him down, but
yeah.
I think that's hard in the playoff situation to switch up the lineup and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's opinionated. So I think he's a player coach. The players enjoy him and play hard for him. And dude, we got to the NLC, Game 7 of the NLC. Like we'll hopefully be back next year. I think we can have that conversation. I think it's way too premature.
Yeah, and I don't know too many baseball fans know what a bench coach really does. I feel like aside from the base coaches, bench coaches are the ones that most interact with the players.
Yeah.
Like, and that's that's why a lot of his players love him, because he cut his teeth as a bench coach.
Yeah.
With the Yankees and the Phillies.
Right. Oh, so it's very important. I think guys like him, at the end of the day, for his scheme and schematic style, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So move on to the next thing. Sixers are 10-3. Near top of basketball. Do they have the best record in the NBA now? I know they lost 2 in a row. They're up there. They're top 5 in the NBA.
Like
I don't think a few weeks ago we were ready for it. I definitely wasn't. What are your initial thoughts on the Sixers season?
Really, really good. We knew the kind of coach Nick Nurse was, and yeah, he just has all the guys playing with reckless abandon. There's so much motion in their offensive sets, and that can stress any NBA defense. The more motion that is put on them, the more chance you have for a quick bucket. So it's really he's been really good.
Yeah, Nick Nurse has been good, and he's moving the offense along, which has been super helpful. But obviously, the Kelly Oubre things really sucks. He was playing out of his mind so far. But like I told you before, for me, I was about ready to be out on the Sixers coming into the season after the past few years. Can't get past the second round into the conference championship, and I don't know. After all the James Harden saga, I really wasn't bought into the Sixers, but man, they were fun to watch with Nick Nurse, and Maxey's playing Maxey's 50. Embiid is still leading the league in points, and it seems like somehow every year he just gets better. He has a point to his game, and I don't know. They get me excited. Every time I think I'm out, they just pull me back in.
Yeah, I saw this on a video. It was like top five reasons why you can't blame Bobby Cox about the collapse of the '90s Braves, and I think it relates to the Sixers. This little anecdote: this comedian was like, "The Braves are like that beautiful girlfriend that you just really don't trust anymore because you know she's gonna break your heart." And coming into this season, like that's how we all felt about the Sixers, and maybe that's how we're feeling about them now. Like she's kind of coming back around, and hopefully they don't break our hearts this time.
Yeah, we'll see. So they're looking real good, 10-3. Just got another win today against the Nets. I think it beat it 32, Maxey at 25. Milton with a very good 21. It's important. Beat a Maxey, maybe one of the best duos in the league. What do you think, dudes? There are many duos better than Embiid and Maxey, and if so, who?
No, I don't. I think prime Steph and Clay, obviously. MJ and
no, I mean right now in the NBA.
Yeah, like Steph and Clay, maybe Devin Booker and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Who else?
I don't know. I mean, Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah.
They haven't really played much together.
They haven't matched.
Maxey and Embiid are one of the best proven duos, I think. So, got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and this might be a crazy take at this point in his career, but I think Tyrese Maxey is this generation's Allen Iverson because of the way their games are comparable. Like Maxey plays a lot under the rim, and
I think Maxey's a better shooter than AI. AI maybe a better move, like crossover moves and stuff and dribble moves. And
yeah,
was able to get around guys quicker, and as Tyrese just kind of uses the speed more. But no, it's a solid comparison. It's interesting. Look at that later. He turns into AI with the lethal 3-point shot. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
and he's a lot more humble than AI was at this point in his career.
Yeah, he's definitely a locker room guy as well. Super helpful. But yeah, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
I think we're going to have another episode tomorrow morning, right before we head to the game. So we'll do a little bit more of a deeper dive into Eagles Chiefs, but from KC, and I think that's about it. We're logging out.
Yep. Go Birds.
Go Birds.